So in terms of building assessments, so this is existing building, all existing high-rise residential buildings need to be assessed over a 5-year period. There are approximately 12,500 buildings, and the regulator has started calling in buildings. They did that within 6 months of being appointed, and they will call in new buildings. And they will call in buildings over 5 years based on their height and risk. So the higher buildings are being called in at the moment, and also those buildings that may have known legacy issues like LPS buildings. We have set out within our guidance an assessment process that's based on ISO 13822, assessment of existing structures, and some key guidance, including appraisal of existing structures, guides to robustness and disproportionate collapse, and the manual for systematic risk assessment. It starts with a desk study, so collating building information, reviewing the building information to identify any potential weaknesses, carrying out a visual survey and a structural risk assessment, and then if required, carrying out further work to prove that any potential issues have been resolved. To assist in the process, we've produced a compendium of high-risk buildings typologies. So there are 16 typologies which we've identified. They're all described with their potential defects. We also have generic defects as well. So that's a fairly good indicator of what you may find when you look into a HRB. Once the building has been surveyed and assessed, it's then necessary to carry out a risk assessment, and that's to all reasonable steps, and that risk assessment covers fire and disproportionate collapse. Now, all reasonable steps is a new legal term that's not really defined within the Act, but within the legislation, accountable person, so building owners will need to balance any costs of remediation, and they're in the widest sense, so time and resources, against the benefits. And the Health and Safety Executive have advised to think about a series of sort of tests. So what would be expected in terms of maintaining a building or building safety? What assurances are there that those measures are effective? Are there any legacy issues? So, for example, is the building an LPS building? And if so, are those legacy issues being dealt with? Is the building up to date with current standards? Under the non-worsening principle, there isn't a requirement to bring buildings up to standards, but there is a requirement to understand the difference between the standards that the building would have been designed and constructed to and current standards, and to address any safety issues. Are there any obvious measures that can be taken, and are there any additional measures that can be taken? And they need to be recorded within the report with a justification.